Alright, let's go. E-King Fight News here. Andre Ward versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That does that ring pay-per-view? Does that have pay-per-view written all over it? I'll tell you what, it's an open secret in boxing that these two guys are basically planning to fight each other, and HBO is at the forefront of making that plan happen. Um, Andre Ward has mentioned several times that he even called out Chavez Jr. on several times, and even if you go to Chris Robinson's Hustle Boss, Andre Ward said it's a natural pay-per-view opponent, Chavez Jr. And Chavez Jr., if you go to Seconds Out, Radio Raheem did interview him, and basically he's calling out Andre Ward. He's calling out for that fight too. That's the fight that he wants. He wants to go for the title at 168. And this is a complete mismatch. It really is. It's as big as a mismatch as you're ever going to get in boxing. We saw a smaller Brian Vera handle Chavez with volume and with better punching technique. He was doing better on the inside. Who would have thought Brian Vera would outfight Chavez Jr. on the inside, where his father is legendary for breaking down fighters to the body and to the head? Very shocking to see that. And the thing about Andre Ward is he's an incredible inside fighter. He's the type of inside fighter that smothered Carl Froch with lead left hooks and completely dismantled him. He's beaten fighters levels above a Chavez Jr. So this is actually a really easy fight for Andre Ward, taking advantage, similar to what Mayweather does, of the Mexican appeal for boxing. That's the biggest fan base in boxing. Those are the biggest money supporters of boxing. So clearly, if Chavez Jr. is on pay-per-view, there's a good chance that they're going to rep Mexico and and rep Chavez Jr. However, I think there's a question about how serious is Chavez Jr. In terms of representing the Mexican fan base. He's got his father's namesake, but in terms of how he's taking the sport and the respect level he's giving it, it is very, very sad to see someone of the lineage of Chavez Jr. treating the sport like it's for granted. He should have the pedestal handed to him. That's how he's treating it, and that's how he got that decision. It was handed to him. So, in my opinion, this is a complete mismatch on pay-per-view, and I think a lot of the boxing public knows this. And it's, at the end of the day, Andre Ward wants to get his money up. He wants to get into a big pay-per-view. But he can do that with other guys as well. Except Chavez brings that fan base, and he brings the pay-per-view money coming off a pay-per-view performance in a loss versus Sergio Martinez. So this is a really intriguing situation Andre Ward is in. He really wants this fight for both fan appeal and money reasons, because he believes he deserves it and he's earned it. But has Chavez earned it? Has Chavez shown he's pay-per-view worthy? Has Chavez shown that he can really test Andre Ward with basically a size and power advantage? And you know what? I believe it's a mismatch. I believe he has zero chance of beating Andre Ward. He couldn't even beat Andre Ward on his worst day. That's how I see this fight, and I'm going to leave it at that. I think both of these guys want each other, and I don't know what to say, because if Andre Ward beats Edwin Rodriguez, this is probably the fight that's going to happen next. So overall, that's the plan HBO has. That's what I believe. So it just comes down to what do the fans want to see? Because if HBO finds out the fans don't want to see this fight, then their plans might change. And maybe they could bring in a Golovkin, maybe they could bring in a Kovalev, maybe they could, I don't know. I don't know, because there's no one really out there at 168 other than a Carl Froch, who may or may not be ducking Andre Ward. So overall, let me know what you guys think. It is what it is. Peace out.